I stopped to organize the points I thought followed from this, but Rose had already anticipated them. So when the developing fetus reaches the third trimester, she concluded, it begins to have something like preferences and a kind of memory. In this, it is like the teenager, but unlike fetuses at earlier stages of development, she said excitedly. Right, I said. Habituation and the receptive phenomena it contributes to doesn't occur before the 23rd week of gestation. Now, why do you think this is important? Her brow nodded as she thought through the implications. Well, for one thing, it is that point that the fetus becomes more like adult humans, acquiring memories and preferences. So, I asked, so that process whereby we generate our lives, our hopes, plans, dreams, our experiences of doing good and bad things, of having good and bad things done to us, all begin at this point in gestation. That's when we start to value some things and not value others. Her voice rose with excitement. So abortions before that point don't kill a life that has begun, to put it simply. That is the point when life, not biological life, but mental, emotional life, begins. I sat back in my chair. So what's your conclusion from all that? I said, hardly daring to breathe. She said, abortion after the third trimester kills a human life. But before that, it only ends the possibility of a human life. Earlier abortions, whether deliberate or spontaneous, are morally different than later abortions. Later abortions are murder. I said, well, perhaps you're right. Those certainly seem to follow from the facts we've been considering, along with other assumptions you've made all along, namely that killing an innocent person, that is, a person that bears you no ill will, is always murder. I'm not entirely convinced of that, but that's another whole discussion. At least we can agree that in the light of the late-term fetus's capacity for sensory reception, any abortion that occurs during this phase should be preceded by anesthesia of the fetus. We may not yet have evidence of the fetus's capacity for experiencing pain, but certainly erring on the conservative side would be the most humane practice. Rose looked at me with a wide smile. I feel like I've made some progress today, she said. Can I come back again? That's the end of part 2.